Danger Dolan.
From Pokemon that hate children with all their might to ones that women enjoy frolicking with, we count 20 of the creepiest Pokemon of all time.
Number 20.
Grimer. Wherever Grimer has passed, so many germs are left behind that no plants will ever grow there again. This can only make you wonder what would happen if a human were to touch one of these germs. I'm guessing that dysentery or at the very least gastro is inevitable without cleaning your hands with bleach.
Number 19.
Darumaka. Darumaka's droppings are hot, so people used to put them in their clothes to keep themselves warm. I cannot imagine a situation that had happened where I'd consider putting some animal's shit into my clothes for warmth. Maybe if it were a life or death situation, but even then, that's some nasty practices.
Number 18.
Snubbull. It has an active, playful nature. Many women like to frolic with it because of its affectionate ways. There's no undertones of bestiality here. Nope, definitely not. No one could possibly interpret frolic as anything dirty, but hey, at least it's an attractive looking bulldog thing, or whatever it is.
Number 17.
Cadabra. It happened one morning. A boy with extrasensory powers awoke in bed, transformed into Cadabra. Wow, so if you happen to have any level of ESP and you're also a child, there's a chance you'll turn into a Pokemon, who in turn gets captured and enslaved, possibly by one of your friends. Dark much?
Number 16.
Drowsy. If you think you had a good dream but you can't remember it, a Drowsy has probably eaten it. It remembers every dream it eats. It rarely eats the dreams of adults because children's are much tastier. So these anteater things go running around at night, breaking and entering children's homes, stealing their good dreams, and leaving without a trace. Sounds like the Pokemon world is one worth living in.
Number 15.
Lampent. The spirits it absorbs fuel its baleful fire. It hangs around hospitals waiting for people to pass on. Good news, everyone! There's an afterlife after all. Just make sure to stay away from Lampents or they'll steal your soul. Fantastic. I just hope it's not an eternal spirit kind of thing and you're trapped inside a Pokemon's body, unable to move until it dies.
Number 14.
Glalie. Glalie has the ability to freely control ice. For example, it can instantly freeze its foe solid. After immobilizing its foe in ice, the Pokemon enjoys eating it in a leisurely fashion. Well, I guess this is a case where I'd rather have Darumaka poop all over me than being eaten by an ice metal rock thing that immobilizes me instead of killing me before having me for dinner.
Number 13.
Hoenn Edge. If anyone dares to grab its hilt, it wraps a blue cloth around that person's arm and drains that person's life energy completely. Imagine a little kid wandering around the backyard when all of a sudden he sees a sword. He then quickly grabs it and oh hey, that kid is now dead. Because it was actually a Pokemon designed to trick people into touching it.
Number 12.
Bayonet. A doll that became a Pokemon over its grudge from being junked. It seeks the child that disowned it. Great, so if a 1-year-old no longer likes a toy, it turns into an evil ghost thing and wants to find the baby that threw it away and what? Kill it, I assume? Hey, maybe it'll only eat its soul. Yeah, that'd be reasonable.
Number 11.
Haunter. Haunter is a dangerous Pokemon. If one beckons you whilst floating in darkness, you must never approach it. This Pokemon will try to lick you with its tongue and steal your life away. Yeah, so this is another evil Pokemon designed purely to do one of two things. Scare children from reading the Pokedex, or make children so scared that they'll do anything Nintendo wants.
Number 10.
Eval Tao. When its life comes to an end, it absorbs the life energy of every living thing and turns into a cocoon once more. So when this one particular Pokemon happens to die, every single person, every single Pokemon, and every single plant will go with it? Yeah, that sounds pleasant and totally appropriate for a kid's game.
Number 9.
Cubone. It wears the skull of its dead mother on its head. When it becomes lonesome, it is said to cry loudly. So this Pokemon wears the skull of its dead mother and cries frequently about that fact. There's nothing creepy about that. I totally wear my mum's skull all the time. It's the natural thing to do.
Number 8.
Mismagius. Its cries sound like incantations. Those hearing it are tormented by headaches and hallucinations. Yeah, a Pokemon that causes hallucinations when it cries. Great. Sounds like a perfect Pokemon to keep with you and to use in battle. Nothing could possibly go wrong with that particular ability.
Number 7.
Gourgeist. Although gore is the very picture of elegance and beauty while swimming, it is also cruel. When it spots prey, this Pokemon inserts its thin mouth into the prey's body and drains the prey of its body fluids. Oh great, it's not like I needed those body fluids anyway. I mean, it only makes up, what, like 80% of my body? Totally unnecessary. Please take them away so I can be skinny.
Number 6.
Driffloon. It is whispered that any child who mistakes Driffloon for a balloon and holds onto it could wind up missing. How many Pokemon do you need to have designed to steal children away? I mean, it looks like a balloon, so it's pretty easy to imagine this is happening pretty regularly. It's a good thing kids aren't constantly wandering the outside world unattended in the Pokemon universe. Oh wait.
Number 5.
Cacturne. If a traveler is going through the desert in the thick of night, Cacturne will follow in a ragtag group. The Pokemon are biding their time, waiting for the traveler to tire and become incapable of moving. Hey, that sounds amazing. A group of Pokemon following you through the desert, just waiting for you to get tired, maybe even need a nap. Then BAM! Your soul or whatever is stolen by some cactus-looking thing.
Number 4.
Dusclops. Dusclops' body is completely hollow. There is nothing at all inside. It is said that its body is like a black hole. This Pokemon will absorb anything into its body, but nothing will ever come back out. So this is a Pokemon that is more efficient than a black hole, because eventually something comes out of a black hole in the way of Hawking radiation. This leads me to believe that the universe will one day be nothing but these Pokemon until the end of eternity.
Number 3.
Gourgeist. Singing in eerie voices, they wander town streets on the night of the new moon. Anyone who hears their song is cursed. It enwraps its prey in its hair-like arms. It sings joyfully as it observes the suffering of its prey. We've got a double whammy of creepiness here. Not only does it sing a cursed song, it also loves holding its prey and watching it suffer.
Number 2.
Phantump. According to old tales, these Pokemon are stumps possessed by the spirits of children who died while lost in the forest. Game Freak simply can't leave the kids alone, can they? Having various Pokemon kill and steal children's souls simply wasn't enough. They then needed one that is actually made from the dead souls of children, which were probably killed by one of the other evil Pokemon.
Number 1.
Yamask. Each of them carries a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Sometimes they look at it and cry. So they carry around what I can only assume is the skin of the face of the person they once were. Is there no escaping from becoming a Pokemon in this universe? Or is it just the select unlucky few that are doomed to this fate? I guess we'll never know.
That's it for this countdown. And have a good one!